And once again, a massive thank you to all of our community, all of the people who financially support the show and help it go on each and every week. All of our 87A survivors, they're all there on the screen. King Alobar, Petty Weddy, Sauerkraut, Receding Man, and some new members, Levs, Nukes, Rays, Salty Sticks. Thank you so much. But a massive shout out to our two podcast bosses, Kenny Baker and Cinnamon. All of you are legends who help the shows go on each and every week. Thank you all for your support, just even by listening or watching the show, and we hope you enjoy this week's show. And welcome everybody to episode 143 of the DayZ Podcast. We are joined today by Falcon. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Doing great.
Hey, audio's all working fine, and they'll probably start trolling me in chat any second now, but everything appears to be running smoothly today, other than the fact that we have no Cobra, no Lemons, and no Archie. Cobra, there was a bit of a miscommunication. He thought we were moving to the new day, which I'll get to shortly. And I have not heard boo from Lemons or Archie, but a lot going on at the moment. But the main thing that we needed was our guest today, the one, the only, Mr. iRoadie, creator of the independent DayZ Event Calendar. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Mate, it's
an
a
honor
pleasure
to be here.
It's a pleasure to get you on. I was quite stunned when I was in your Discord. And someone said to you, congratulations on making the DayZ Podcast. And I was like, really? That's actually a thing that people get excited about, being asked to come on this show with me? Okay, that's kind of flattering, but mate, of course we're going to get someone like you on, because like we were chatting before the show, you basically started something out of, you identified a need for it and you've done it, and you're not monetizing it, you're not anything like that, you're just doing something good to help people out in the community. So that's to be applauded, and something that we love shouting out on this show. Hey, Falcon?
That's absolutely correct. Right on the money.
So, well, before we get into why you started, let's find out a little bit about you. So you gave us a bit of a bio there, iRoadie. Let's have a read. Hey, folks, my name is Roadie. The I is silent, just like me. I'm neither a streamer nor a YouTuber. According to my nickname, I'm the helping hand in the background, not the star on the stage. Give you an idea about my age, my first computer was a Commodore 64. And no, ladies and gentlemen from Australia, that's not a car, that's an actual computer. I play video games since decades. Coming from the Battlefield franchise, getting bored with run and gun and chasing player stats, I found DayZ in its early days and got hooked on it. Today, I have 4,000 plus hours on my DayZ mileage counter, participating in 2 different super exciting DayZ events as a non-streamer end of 2022. I wanted to know when's the next one. Finding the information was difficult, and the idea of an event calendar came up. I had no idea how to set up public calendars or a Discord server, but my motto is, done is better than perfect. 1 week later, 2nd of February 2023, the independent DayZ event calendar went public, and here we are. Mate, I love the motivation for it. I do, because we've even struggled with trying to keep track of it all here. We've got a couple of channels in the Discord, but sometimes we forget. Well, not sometimes. Most of the time, we forget to check them. It really does need someone dedicated managing it. And you've raised your hand. Do you regret it?
No, not at all. I don't regret it, not at all.
See, because the thing is, you knew where I was coming from with that, because you're like, what do you mean regret it? You know that you've taken on a lot, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think the feedback is so positive from the community, and it's just overwhelming. I just had the idea from my experience that it could be an interesting thing to do. And as you said already, I didn't have any idea about how to set up a Discord server, about how to handle Google calendars and such. And I said, okay, let's just do it. And step by step, you don't have to start with a big picture. Start at a certain point and then try to improve step by step. And I had a lot of help from the community, from the people popping in saying, wow, that's a great idea. I had the idea before, but it was too much distraction for me, or they had the huge picture in their mind. And my idea is I want to focus just on providing the simple facts and figures, means the calendar. And I can talk you through it later on, sharing the screen if you want me to, and
definitely,
see what we have in the Discord.
Yep.
I can show you the functionality, and it's just focused on what people want to know, no distraction at all. And that's what I like, and that's what people appreciate.
So I've just shared the your Twitter and your Discord links in both of the chats. But if you want to do that now, take us into your Discord, give us the bit of a fly around. Make sure you don't go into any of the not suitable for work channels. We're a respectable professional show here. But
so far today we are, yes.
Yeah, so far
we are.
I haven't even sworn yet. I don't think. Maybe I have. They come out of my mouth like they're nothing.
Oh, you're good. You're good. My ears aren't burning yet, so.
So load up and share your screen, mate, and we'll pop it up big for everyone, and you can talk us through how it all works and with the calendars and stuff like that, because there are a lot of people like my missus. She works in office administration, but she's like quite high level in it. I don't like to say too much about what she does for a living, but she actually had a thing recently where she created some guidelines. Oh, we've got feedback. Where's that? Yeah, what about now? There we go. That's gone now.
It's still there.
Yeah. No, what do we have? What do we see?
That's the stream. You need to turn off the audio for his stream for some reason. The feedback coming through there. But yeah, she had it where people didn't know what a hyperlink was, and I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? It's 2023. How can you not know what a hyperlink is?" So it's good to go through these sorts of things and explain about how it all works. So we've got it up. Oh, no, that's too big. Let's just keep it at that. Chat, let us know how you're going. If you could see this well enough.
Yeah. Okay, audio still fine?
Yep.
Yes.
It was
good. Okay. Let me take the chance to walk you through the Discord. So the main idea is we have the Discord as the platform for the communication, everything around the Google Calendar. And as you can see, we don't have that many channels. It's pretty much focused on the main reason why we have this. So the Google Calendar is the tool in the background, and this is where all the information is to find. Now, when it comes to calendars, and the audience is all over the world, and then we have once in a sudden the big challenge of the time zones.
Yes.
And to be honest, I underestimated this topic a little bit. I knew, we have some time zones, we can cover it by the Google Calendar. That was my knowledge. But then you have, in addition, the daylight savings.
Yes.
It makes it much more complicated. So what we have developed over a few days is this kind of communication tool. It's just hyperlinks, and we have some pre-chosen preferred time zones. We have Berlin, London, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and of course Australia, Sydney. Thanks for your feedback, Boydie, that Sydney is the most important time zone when it comes to Australia.
It pains me to fucking say that as well, being a Queenslander. It pains me. That's literally like, someone in Canada having to say that, look, if you just work off a US time or something like that, or a Mexican, saying the same sort of thing. It pained me to say that if you get the Sydney time, everyone else in Australia can work it out off of that, because Queenslander, to quote the great Stimpy. But yeah, that's pretty much. And I imagine there's a similar time zone for America. because it's the bane of my existence as well, mate. I know where you're coming from. Is half the trouble for me with anything that I do is organising times, because it's just all over the fucking shop, and it's so hard to please everyone and get a time zone in there for people that they can work from, and then people get their noses out of joint. They get butt hurt because their time zone's not in there, and it's just like, oh, why did I start doing this?
Yeah, absolutely. But I have honestly no complaints at all. I always encourage the people, means the community and the members, to let me know if anything's not working or could be improved or whatever. I got some really useful tips. We will see it in a few minutes. What's behind it? So let's take the example and go for Sydney. Just click it, confirm. And hopefully we will have the Google Calendar here. I hope it's working.
I think you're streaming just the Discord window. We can't see what you've gone to.
Good. Let me try to switch over.
Just make sure you close down your Pornhub and all the rest of it. If you've got that open in your Google, you don't want to have a scandal.
100%.
Pygmygoat.com. You definitely want to hide that.
Yeah. So let's see. Just change the window, and here we go. Now, this is the typical view of the calendar. What I did here in preparation, usually everything is in German because obviously I can't hide my accent. I'm from Germany. I switched the language. So the most important thing when you see this one is the bottom left-hand corner, because here you see the time zone. We have Eastern Australia time, Sydney.
Yep.
So this is preset due to the link. We clicked Australia, Sydney, and then preferably in the upper right-hand corner, switch to agenda. So we have the overview of all those upcoming events. So starting on today, and the list is pretty long already. So down to July 17th. Yeah.
So how do people submit the events?
Yeah, so my main sources for the information is Twitter.
So are you actively searching this out yourself and
manually?
Okay.
I do it manually.
That's painful. That's great that you're doing that, and I applaud you. And that's brilliant. But people need to be coming in and making it easier for you to find this sort of information, so you're not trawling through Twitter. Because it's the same sort of problem we face.
Prepared.
If someone doesn't let us know and we don't happen to stumble across it, we can't know about it.
Yeah, exactly. 100% agreed. This was the starting point. Or let's say playing DayZ for a while, then finding out, oh, there's YouTube, we have videos, there are some tutorials, it improves my playstyle when it comes to crafting and such. Then you have a high level of entertainment in those videos from the big guys. I think the first one I still remember is Frankie on PC in 1080p. We all know him. Making videos for DayZ and with DayZ. So I learned a lot. And then after a while I said, oh, wait, there's this Twitch thing. I switched over and the interactivity was really great. And so I learned a lot about the people, the streamers. I knew the names, followed them on Twitter and such. So I didn't start at scratch. I had already some names on the list. But of course, we will see in a few minutes the next step to switch it more from an active tool to an interactive tool. So we have some channels in place in the Discord channel. So you have the overview. If you are using your own Google Calendar already, in the bottom right-hand corner, you have just plus added to your Google Calendar, and so it's just like a follow or subscribe. and that's pretty easy and easy to do. So we have the dates, we have the timings, we have the events itself, and if you click it, we have some more information behind it. I just want to use the links. I don't want to add anything else, just the links, because I'm not the owner of the banners, of the posters, of the content behind it. It's just the links what we have here. So tomorrow we have the bare knuckle boxing event by Rampage Granny, or we know her as Babushka. I think the server host is OGT with this
she makes me laugh as well. Rampage Granny, and then you see the pictures of her. And she's no fucking granny. She is not a granny. But no. I love her name, regardless. I love it.
Absolutely. And this is another topic, the nicknames are so great. When you read them, makes me laugh sometimes. So if you click the Twitter, for example, should pop up right now. Porn is hidden, I guess. So we have here just her tweet. Yep. Yeah. So the members of the DayZ calendar can just view what is it about, have the conversation behind it. And this is what I just tried to update. Then we have, if it's available, there's the link to the according Discord channel from her or from the server hoster or whatever is available. And sometimes we have some additional information. This is a tweet for the players list for the event. So that I think I try to cover the most important details on a high level. If you want to go deeper into it, you have the information here. You can follow her on Twitch. You can go into her Discord channel. That's it. Yeah, that's all about it. And right now, I update that stuff as soon as I see anything in Twitter or in the according Discords, and that's it. Now coming back to, I need to switch to another window again. Change window. Here we go. Boop. So this is just the links to the Google Calendar. If your time zone is not here in the list, I had a very, very useful tip from Taylor 24/7. He said you can just adjust the ending of the URL to your Google Calendar according to the required and preferred time zone. And this was golden for me. So what I did is just a spreadsheet where you can have all the list of the in Google available time zones, and you click the list behind it. So that's pretty easy to do with a formula. And let me switch over to the other window again. So what we see here is just the time zone. So if you click the link you saw before in the Discord channel, you see here the whole list of every single time zone which is available in Google Calendar. I know there are better ways with drop-down menus, etc. But I'm a boomer and I'm not 100% into all this programming stuff. And I think this is the easiest way. So if you say, I don't have it in the preferred links, I'm in Tokyo, you scroll down to Asia Tokyo, you click the link here, and then it opens the Google Calendar in the Japan Standard Time. So that's pretty easy. And I think it's understandable. You don't have to study too much text to figure out how it works.
Love it. You're pretty much keeping it as simple as possible.
Exactly.
So that, you said that word, that the boomers amongst us can do it, because, we saw there all smoke, event calendar. Are these all the events only streamers and YouTubers can participate in? No, these are whatever the event parameter is. So You saw the fighter list in Rampage Granny's event. There were names that we recognised. I saw Sarah Moore, Revive Me Ryan. There was a few others I recognised in there as well. But then there was a lot of names of I imagine, people in those respective communities. And it's up to the event organisers who they want to aim it at. And as much as I totally get that sometimes it sucks when it's just a content creator only event, those sorts of events create hype, and a lot of people do this for a living. So that's what they've got to do to get the numbers into their communities and all the rest of it. But for the most part, nearly all of your events, it looks like they're just community events. They're not elite level, content creator only events, which is fantastic. And that's what I love about this whole DayZ event calendar.
Yeah, 100% agreed. So we have very, very different events, and if you show or if you look into the agenda and see the list, what's coming up, and you go into more details, they are so different. Of course, you have the stream snipe events. That's pretty easy, very common, and this is a good way for let's say a standard player. You don't have to be a streamer. You don't have to register or sign up or whatever. You just can hop onto the server and let's go. That's pretty easy. Then you have a wide range of various events where you just need to sign up. Sign up is required. We have a lot of events in this category. And then they have, let's say it's flagship events. That's the huge ones from Ariana, from Happy Bombs, from all those guys with the wonderful and beautiful events. And there, I would say, I'm not 100% sure if there's a clear rule about it, but I think there are streamers preferred, because if you participate as a streamer, the reach of the event is, of course, much higher. The audience is much bigger, 100% understandable, and that's fine. So you don't have to be a streamer to participate in an event. That's the main message. And there are so many beautiful and great events out there. Just figure out what you like. Go and hop in. As a standard player before, my first event was from Zenny MJ Solo YOLO test event in December last year. That's really great. The name says it all. You're a solo player and you don't have any respawns. You just got one life. It was such a great experience, and I wanted to have more. The next event was organized by Jezark, and this was a great event as well. It was the first attack on Svarog on Livonia, and he had the great idea to bring streamers with community members together. So we had 8 teams with 8 team captains, and the captains been the streamers. And Jelly, beautiful streamer, always a big love, huge community, and they said, "Want to join?" I said, "That's great. Let's do it." And we had such a beautiful team with a great event. It was such a good experience, and this drove me into the events itself. And that's really nice, really nice. So the events which are coming up are really, really interesting. But you're 100% right. It takes me a little bit of time to crawl through Twitter, to crawl through all those Discord channels. So what we did in the beginning is just to create a channel. We have it here, and the people can just drop in their information regarding upcoming events. So the latest one was last night from Wheelsy. It's the Fresh Bones open server we have right now happening on the weekend. The one before, you can show some examples, is from Sauerkraut and his Gaming Cairn service. DayZ Taskmaster, episode number 4, 29th of April. We had Agent Red already happening, and many before. So this is a channel where the people can just drop me a line and I pick it up and add it manually to the calendar. Then we have another channel, just promote your event. So this is where you can, as a event host or anything, promote your stuff. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Then we had, I think it's been Thunderbird. It's been Thunderbird in very early days of the Discord, saying, "Oh look, there are follow channels. There are announcement channels where you can follow in the different Discords." Easy. Didn't know about it. Was really gold. I did it. And of course, the next logical step is to use it in our own Discord as well.
Now,
So
the
we have
question
the
I have for
amount.
you is: are
Yeah.
you going to break it up into? And this is where I've got my advice that I would give you, but I'm interested in your point of view on it. Are you going to break it up into consoles? PlayStation events, Xbox events, PC events, or just leave it all as one event channel?
Yeah, I mean, generally, you could break it into the different platforms, PC, console. You could do the events in different categories, saying this is a stream snipe event. This is a non-PvP event, and whatever.
Look,
but
my
I
advice is
think
don't keep it simple.
Exactly.
It'll become a nightmare for you to manage if you're doing all the
100%.
entry. Falcon's, I can see the look at Falcon's face. It's like,
Yeah.
don't.
Actually, what I was going to say was the easiest thing, since you've got Google Calendar as your engine behind there, is, as you've already done, leverage what it does for you. So you could use tagging or something like that and just go crazy, and then let the end users filter however they wanted to, and then you don't get trapped in that whole thing of creating separate calendars or structure and all that. You can just be freewheeling.
Because it's a rabbit hole once you start going down. And I know there's going to be people who are going to say, but how am I meant to work out? Old school, mate. Just scroll through it and look. If you think you can do better, do it yourself. But I think this is great just the way it is, mate. Just keep it simple.
Yeah.
The other thing I like about it is, we saw the comment before about, is this just streamer only events or not? You'll get to see who are the content creators who truly are community focused, who are, and like, I'm going to be careful the way I word that. Nearly every content creator out there is community focused, because without a community, they don't have a channel. They don't have anything. They don't have anyone wanting to
community.
But that's where, like, one of the names I saw there, Cam Can't Run, a very underrated streamer and content creator, and he is so community focused, and he puts on a lot of events, and that you'll get to see who are those good communities, the ones that I consider good communities, who do a lot more than just turn on and expect people to donate and subscribe to them. They're actually running events for them. They're doing things, really making that community vibe. Now, I understand that gets a lot harder the bigger you get, but Happy Bombs is doing it quite well. He doesn't get to run events as often, and his events aren't just streamer only either. Anyone can register for them. Obviously, streamers do get a bit of focus on it, but there's also people who are members of his community get priority for the events, and that's the way it should be. They're the ones who support that content creator. So it enables you as just viewer to see who are the people who are doing a lot with their community out there. And I again, that's an unintended bonus, I think, of this excellent little project of yours, mate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So I think that's really a good point regarding the size of a streamer channel. I love the big names, and I have to lift my head if this makes sense, because the multitasking, playing the game, interacting with the team in the game, interacting with the chat, reading the chat, replying to the guys, this is unbelievable. I couldn't imagine to do it at all. But I always prefer and can give advice. Try the smaller channels. As you said, Cam Can't Run is a great example. The example I mentioned before, it's Jelly. She started streaming 1 year ago. She celebrated her first full year this week on Wednesday, and the community is great. And when I remember, she reached affiliate status on Twitch after 1 week of streaming. So it was really, really great. And she's so much love and so much positive energy. And this is what you feel in her community. So there's no negative words or anything. And it's really great. So try and reach out, drop her a follow, show her some love. And there are so many small and mid-size streamers out there. Don't get hooked too much on the big ones. The big ones are great, and they're driving the topic forward. That's really, really good. And with the events as well. So we have the big events, we have the smaller ones. And, the variety shows me that there's a big future ahead. So last weekend, for example, we had 6 events happening on Saturday and on Sunday. This is a huge list. And it's great what happens out there.
Have
really,
you had
really
have
good.
you had much because barring the 2 big ones who you think of when you think of events now in DayZ is Happy Bombs and Ariana. And then there's a lot of other people doing stuff, like Cam, who we mentioned, and many other streamers and even non-streamers, just community service that are doing their own events as well. But have you had many people collabing with each other through your Discord, like trying to? One of the things I've always felt that hurts DayZ is that there's really no professional level events. And I know that and I do not mean that in a negative way, but because we've got Ariana. Ariana's also a content creator. She's a full-time mum as well. Happy Bombs, he's a streamer. There's no one who really that I'm aware of, and if there is, I apologize for not being aware of you. But there's no one really who's just all I do is DayZ events and focus on DayZ events. I'm not here to turn on my camera and stream, and setting up high quality, professional level DayZ events. Because I still think, I know people get sick of me talking about Survivor games, but I'm never going to shut up about it. But they were the bomb. They created basically the market for events being streamed back in the day. There may have been some others, but the original Survivor games really blew up and showed Twitch and the Twitch community that well-run events. And let's face it, the original Survivor games, if anyone watched them, they weren't high quality because they didn't have much in the way of tech back then for DayZ. And with Twitch, you didn't have half the plugins and all the rest of it. But yeah, so is there anything like that forming in the background as a byproduct of your lovely little Discord there, Roadie?
No, not that I'm aware of, because I think this is the beauty of DayZ as well. So you can play the game in whatever way you want to play it.
Yep.
Yeah, you can focus on survival, you can focus on PvP, you can focus on interaction, stay in the spawn cities, etc. So this is great, and this is a beauty, and this shows up in the events as well. If you take other big AAA titles, you have events there as well. It's competitive gameplay, etc. But it's more or less always the same format. And in DayZ, it's different. You have the stream snipe events, you have the PvP events, you have non-PvP events. So the range and the playground is limitless, let's say. And this is a beauty. Now, when it comes to organizing an event, hosting it with admins, etc., I think it's pretty tough to do it as a one-man army. And when I see Ariana, I think for her last event, it was the first time that I'm aware of that she got some help from others, and this is very useful. I think I can just barely imagine how big the effort must be to do such events on your own, and I think the most of the part, you have admins, you have hosts, you have streamers, you have some big names, some smaller names behind it, and that's it. I'm not aware of anybody who's focusing 100% on DayZ events. Yeah, and if the people when they saw and realized, oh wait, there's a calendar only for DayZ events, I got the name independent at the first stage, independent DayZ events. So I'm not the guy behind any streamer or any event host or whatever. I want to be neutral. I don't judge. I don't categorize. Maybe from a technical point of view in the future, but that's it. Yeah, I just want to provide the bare information, and that's it. But the interesting development after only a few weeks that this thing went live is that the people and even the big names reach out to me saying, oh, what is it? Where do you get your information from? How can we cooperate or collaborate a little bit more? So I think in the early days, Ariana get aware of what we are doing, and she joined the channel. And meanwhile, she's feeding me actively with information for her events. So the upcoming Queen of the Castle and King of the Castle of her, before she tweeted it or went public, she gave me the information to put it into the calendar. You know, the calendar is, that's another very positive thing. It's not only an information base for players or event participants, it's for the event hosts as well, for their scheduling, for their planning, avoiding overlapping. So having 6 events on one weekend is a little bit too much maybe. And if you can organize it a little bit better using this calendar, the better it is for yourself, for your viewer count, for the participants, and that's great. And you know, the feedback I get for this one is, really, really overwhelming. So we have Ariana reaching out to me, putting it in. I had some messages from Chezark asking for his charity event he's planning. Please, could you do a placeholder into the calendar? I don't have that much information yet, but let's put it in. I did it. 2 days later, he provided the details we needed for it. That's really great. And we have more and more feeding me actively with the information. So that was my goal from the beginning. I start at a certain point, keep it small, keep it focused, and give the opportunity that I can passively receive the information which are important for the calendar. And this works more and more and better and better. I want to keep an eye on if you post it at an event or promote your event or whatever. I watch it, I see, is it relevant or not? And I have the right to do some changes or delete it if it's not appropriate or whatever. So that's the point, and it works pretty well. Very good.
I can see so much scope for this down the line, Falcon, but yeah, it's a case of just how far do you want to go for it. Yeah, I'd love to see something like this intertwined with iSurvive, so that, you know, at the moment when you click on iSurvive, you get all these ads for irrelevant sort of stuff popping up. I'd love to know if there's a way that, you know, they can feature it so that, you know, pop-ups come up of events coming up. Because there's a lot of people using iSurvive who don't use Twitter, who don't use Discord and things like that, but they use iSurvive. So it'd be great if they reached out to you to work out a way to, you know, cross collab, because it all, you know, it's all a win for DayZ and or stuff like this. Because has there been much in the way of out of pocket costs for you associated with this, Roadie?
No cost at all. That's a beauty. You buy the game, you play it, and you know all the modded servers. You don't have to pay for it. I don't pay for any priority queue or whatever. I want just to keep the costs for myself pretty low. And it's setting up a Discord server. It's free. You know, setting up Google Calendar, it's free. I don't have any costs. The only thing I did, I boosted my Discord server a little bit on level 2 to have a little bit to play around with graphics and such. It's not a big deal. So and I don't have the goal to earn money with it. So after having the idea, it came to my mind, why do I keep the information with the calendar for myself, just make it public and let the people benefit from it?
Yep.
And then I said, hey, wow, that's another benefit for me, is to give something back to the community. We have so many great talents out there, spending their free time for DayZ, for the community. If it's setting up servers, is it planning an event, if it's your podcast or other podcasts or whatever, you name it. And for me as a player, there's no cost for it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's my part. I see it as my part to give something back to the community.
No, I love it, mate.
Yeah.
If we need
Yeah.
more stuff like this, it's just, yeah, well done, mate. You know, you identified a shortfall in the community, and you've come up with a simple, easy to use, boomer friendly way to promote events out there for everyone. So, like Raz says in chat there, maximum respect, mate. Yeah, that's to
Thank
be
you.
applauded.
Yeah.
Thank you. Much appreciated. I love it, and you can't imagine that means a lot for me, really. That's really great. That's better than having another $100 in my pocket or whatever. The feedback I get, it's really, really good. And honestly, coming back to the beginning, I'm the roadie. I'm not the star on the stage.
Right.
I don't want to show off or whatever. And guys, feel free to give any tips for improvement. If you see anything is not working correctly, let me know. And the biggest favor you can do is, like you do with your podcast, inviting me, just spread the word. Share it with your communities, with your friends, that they can take benefit of this calendar as well. And the more members we get, the more people we have that can benefit from it. That's the point. Today, after I think 5 weeks, we have already roughly 150 members, and it's growing constantly. It's really nice, and I just love it. It's like you start a little fire, and it gets bigger and bigger. But for me, my personal goal is to keep it focused on the topic and be, let's say, a little bit of a center when it comes to scheduling or providing the information for the DayZ events.
Love it. Absolutely
sure.
love it. You got any questions for him, Falcon?
I was going to say there was a couple of things that I'm sure you've thought of, but I thought I'd throw out there just as a technologist, some easy level ups.
That is such a boomer way to describe someone who, as a technologist. I'm a technologist.
I am an all-around technologist.
I'm an ITAR.
Well, so what I was going to say was a couple of fairly simple Discord bots. So one would be one to ingest the events that people submit, and then with some kind of approval process that you could go through, just to avoid, kind of prioritizing your time to just the making the decisions rather than the copy paste. And the other one would be a simple Discord bot to publish on your announcements channel or on an announcements channel when an event is coming up, so that it's just triggered by the calendar, and then it says, hey, in 15 minutes, this event is starting. And that way people could sub to that.
Perfect.
That channel. And yeah.
Perfect. That's a great idea. I will think about it. Thanks a lot, Falcon. That's really great. So what I did in the last 2 weekends. So today I just posted, just as a quick reminder to everyone in the Discord channel, hey, it's weekend started. We have 3 events coming up. We have the fresh ones. We have the boxing event, and another one for this week is from I forget it already. It's too many in my mind.
Right.
Do me a favor, guys, out there. Go to the calendar. Look what's upcoming, and this is. The feedback for this, as a quick reminder, right when the weekend starts, is really good. People love it. But right now I do it manually. And,
Right.
I started at a certain point and I said, let's see what's the volume, what I can handle. If we have 20 events a weekend, that's a different story. If we have 2, 3, or 6 events, I can do a
Right.
lot of manual work and that's it. But I dig a little bit deeper in the future into the bots for Discord. Thanks a lot for the tip. And we'll see what can my life make a little bit easier.
Right, for sure, for sure.
Great.
That's a great approach. I think Boydie mentioned at the top of the segment that in your bio you had something to me that resonated with not making perfection the enemy of progress. That's just it's a rephrase of what you had in there.
Yeah.
But it's just trying to do little bits. Don't shoot for the moon right off the bat. Just do some things. And the other approach that I think is fantastic is what I used to call humanimation. So rather than just diving in and writing a bunch of scripts, have somebody do it manually. And then once they get the pattern down, then you could have them or somebody else look at the pattern and say, well, can we automate this? And what are the problems with that? And just kind of gradually improve it that way.
Exactly. Because automation upfront, before you know what's the volume I need to manage, could be a huge effort. And at the end of the day, doing it manually could be less effort,
Right.
So that's the thing.
Right.
And the phrase is done is better than perfect. I learned that in the business. If you try to make something perfect, that takes time, or you're afraid to start with it,
Correct.
And I say, no, let's start with something. Let's improve, continuous improvement, and see how it goes. And
it's pretty much my life motto that done is better than perfect. That's pretty much how I've been doing this show for 140 plus episodes. Hey, we got through another episode. That's fantastic. We'll polish it up later. Sometime soon. 140 episodes already, mate. Yeah, we'll get there. No, I think that's brilliant. The a couple of ideas there, words I didn't quite understand: ingest and humanimation and stuff like that. But I imagine Falcon's probably going to reach out to you afterwards with some ideas about. He's our ideas man. He's I'm the guy you tell to go out back and dig a hole. And if you want some good tech done, you speak to Falcon. He's our ideas man. But yeah,
perfect.
Keep doing what you're doing, mate. It's the more people doing these sorts of things. You're not doing this to make a quid. The same with us. Yeah, we do take donations and all the rest of it. And no, I'm not asking people to donate, but all of what we do goes back into the community with our Christmas show and other stuff that we sponsor. And we do a bit here and there, but most of our focus goes towards at the end of the year. It's just nice to be able to do a big show where we give back and then some to all of the people. With things like the figurine we gave away last year and stuff like that. And it's just, it's nice to just do nice things. The older you get, the more, I don't know, maybe not everyone's like that, but the less focused you are on capitalist sort of material things, and you get more joy from just doing nice things for people. And that's what I loved about what you're doing, mate. I'm so glad to get you on here.
Thank you. It's a big honor, and thanks for having me. No, I think that's the main point. The older you get, the more you learn how to set the things in the right light and set your focus. Yeah. And I got in mind, I got a full-time job. I got this as my hobby. DayZ is my hobby.
And that's it. It's my hobby as well. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the beautiful part. This show is my hobby. This channel,
100%.
This community is my hobby.
Yeah. 100%. And the hobby can cost money. I don't spend money for that stuff. So I don't need to get back any money. That's a really good thing. The only thing I invest here is some additional time. But I got a beautiful missus in the background watching that I don't spend too much time on that stuff. Once there was a wise man saying to his wife, nothing, because he's a wise man. So this is my motto, and it works pretty well. So it's really, really good. Yeah.
And that's it, mate. My missus is so understanding and supporting. She knows that, and she has her hobbies as well. Hers is reading books. She loves every birthday, every Mother's Day, every Valentine's Day. I ask her, what do you want? She says Kindle credit, so she can buy more books to read. That's her thing. She just loves sitting outside and reading, and yeah, just absolutely love it. Whereas for me, this is my hobby, so I spend a bit on it. My spendings each fortnight goes into this, and what we make on the show goes into it as well. And already we're starting to work out what we're going to do for this year's Christmas show, and stuff in the background. And yeah, there's a few little projects we're working on, and it's just nice doing things like that, mate. So anything that we can do to help promote you and what you're doing, let us know, buddy, because this is the sort of stuff we love doing. Helping
Yeah.
promote. It's an amazing game, and it's so hard to keep track of all these different events that are out there, and your little calendar has made it so much easier. And I'm pretty sure Falcon's mind's been ticking over about ways he can, ideas he can give you to maybe streamline things a bit and make it easier for you, because you don't want it to become a chore. A hobby is meant to be enjoyable.
Yeah, 100%. So thanks a lot for your offer. I think having me on the show today, this is a really big step for the calendar and the Discord and the community. You have the invitation link to the Discord already in your Discord in the useful links. That's really great. I think if you just could add or find some space to follow our announcement channel.
I'm going to add that to our announcements channel.
Perfect.
A follow, and it's going to go when you put an announcement in yours, it'll come up in ours as well.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Perfect. That's a great thing, and I think that's it. I would be glad to come back to you, Falcon, regarding the technical stuff, step by step. I'm trying to learn. Last night, Wheelsy gave me a very good tip regarding how can I describe it? A little workaround, how to display individual local times in a Discord message. So this is a tricky thing to do, but she provided me some links, and I will deep dive into that one just in order to make the life a little bit easier for the people following the calendar,
That's awesome.
Because the time zone thing is a pain in the ass, sorry.
That's always a problem. Another top tip I was going to throw out was for your Discord link. Go to discord.io, and it's basically a Discord forwarder. So you can create a permanent invite link, and then you can create a custom link in Discord.io.
Without having to pay for the highest level of nitro, I'm guessing.
Perfect.
Exactly.
That's gold. That's gold as well. Then thanks a lot. That's the thing I will do. Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing worse in my mind than the kind of alphabet soup links that Discord puts out on the invites, because no one's going to remember that. But if you have a friendly name, people see
and
that.
If there is anything that's going to cost a few bucks as well, feel free to hit us up as well, because whilst we're not exactly rolling in cash every single night when we go to sleep, this is why we exist, is to try to help out other community-minded projects like what you're doing, mate. These are the episodes I love the most. It's great when we get big name guests on and all the rest of it, but the people who are doing stuff to help the community, they're the episodes I love the most, because that's why we started this, was to shine the spotlight on. There's so much happening out there.
Yeah, perfect. And that's why I love your show. There are more DayZ podcasts out there, and there's no unnecessary overlapping. So there's no competition, because the format is totally different. And what I like on your show is the technical background. It's clearly structured, and it gives a lot information, a lot of detail to the community. And the community is just the bigger name. You have the modders, the mappers, you have the streamers, and all those guys. And I see that the topic in DayZ with all those events gets bigger and bigger. And I'm glad to be part of it and make the life of the people a little bit easier.
Excellent. Speaking of DayZ getting bigger, Mr. DrDisrespect is over there playing some DayZ right now. I jumped in very early this morning and hung around for a few minutes and was like, nope, I cannot do this at 4 a.m. in the morning. and I had to bail. Have either of you two checked him out live yet?
I have not, but I'm probably going to later on.
Is he still going? Just looking now. DayZ topic. Because I'm not subscribed to him. He's not really my
gotcha.
my style
Not your-
of. No, he's bailed already.
Wow.
He's.
I didn't think you could do a DayZ, a live DayZ gameplay stream, and have it run under like 6 hours. It seems like normally when you play a long time.
He's playing.
Did we get some eyes on this?
PUBG.
Gotta be a
is it?
sniper in here
Yeah,
somewhere.
he's playing PUBG.
Oh,
So he
okay.
didn't last long playing DayZ at all, which is kind of sad. I had a bit of a chat on. So the boys over there at Hey You Video Game shared that he was playing, and Michael, one of our regulars in here, was talking about it. DayZ for the first time ever. Now he tried it the other day, and he had something come up about he had a ban, a global ban, which was Dab shared that, which was kind of, I thought that was a bit funny. Yeah, one of the biggest names in content creators, and he goes to play DayZ and he's got a global ban from BattleEye. It was like, whoopsie. Okay, what's that all about? But so, Hey You Video Game, which one of you psychos is going to give DrDisrespect Kuru? For me, and this, like, sometimes not sometimes. I know I word things badly at times. But for me, the funny part was going to be how streamers, because the majority of the DayZ community are on Twitch, and Twitch have got a major problem with DrDisrespect. We don't know really why. There's a lot of circumspecture out there, circumjecture, whatever the word is, about why he's not allowed on there. But that would be really awkward, because DayZ is a very interactive game, and Twitch, from what I understand, they're like rabid about if DrDisrespect is shown in any way, shape, or form on their platform, they'll take you down. So that's awkward. Like, Roadie, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's for me. It's a little bit different or difficult to have a clear opinion on that one. Yeah, I think if we have those huge streamers never played DayZ and now announcing they will start or have a stream, I try to find the positive aspect of it, and it gets a little bit more attraction to the game itself. But I wonder, really, I didn't follow the stream. I had another focus for tonight, for today.
Yep.
So there might be a reason why he already ended the DayZ stream and jumped over to PUBG or whatever.
They talk about it a bit in here, in this thread.
Oh, yeah.
In that the thing that blew my mind, Falcon, was he genuinely seemed to know absolutely nothing about how to play DayZ, which kind of surprised me, because DayZ is one of those games that if you've been a long time gamer, and the sort of games he's played, PUBG, it stems from DayZ. How it was genuinely mind-boggling to me that he didn't know anything. Like, he was playing on a official server, and he's like, "So what's the map button?" And it was like, what? And then, I put a comment in there, Falcon. Chat was the most annoying part, to be honest. I watched for 5 minutes, and between him not knowing a thing about DayZ and chat with some of the stupidest advice and all paid donos, nope, I'm out. Best of luck, Doc. Great seeing him try DayZ, but man, I don't need that at 4 a.m. Because some of the people in the comments, and like he had it on members only, which I understand when you've got 20,000+ people watching you, you need to refine the chat, and a lot of people just want to go in there and spam racist and sexist and homophobic and all this other bullshit. But the advice he was getting was, even Hey You Video Game, the servers they were suggesting made me gag. Someone in chat before said, we need to give him advice on a server. I don't know why he didn't just go play day one. They're generally the best run servers when you are a content creator, Falcon.
Yeah. Yeah, or I mean, honestly, official isn't bad. It's just the usual landmine of players that are going to be on. But I would, yeah, if somebody's just starting out, I'd say just any server that has no mods. It's just a pure vanilla server, so you get the pure DayZ experience. And then just go for it. And honestly, I think everybody that started playing DayZ had that same experience where they go in and they're like, "Oh, this is an interesting game that I'd never heard of before. Let me start messing with it." And then, wait, what's going on? It seems like I'm hurt, or I'm sick, or I'm all slumped over and groaning, and then now I'm dead. What happened? Or worse, the first time you encounter another player and you get the, "Hey, are you friendly?" And you go, "Yes," and before your yes finishes, you're dead.
Yeah, 100%. So
classic starter DayZ.
exactly. And the most annoying part or frustrating part is when you loot around for hours and hours. You try to avoid interaction with other players, and you feel, wow, I got nice gear. And boom, you're dead. So the first impression is
why.
You don't know why exactly. And the first impression is I wasted 3 hours of my life.
Yeah.
But
it's
if I try to, exactly. If I try to get in the perspective of DrDisrespect in this case, honestly, I think it's a little bit disrespectful for his chat to start playing a game with absolutely no knowledge. When I would be him, I would try to get a little bit of basic knowledge to be a little bit, let's say, professional before I start playing it, because I want to be entertaining for the viewers in a certain kind, and try to avoid any frustrating moments, but that's just my opinion. Maybe I don't know him too well. Of course, I know his name. I know that he's polarizing, so some guys like him, obviously, some guys don't. And I didn't watch any stream yet of him. But
look, he's not my style. I don't go for that persona style that he's got, but I 110% respect the guy's hustle and his professionalism. He is what a content creator should aim to be. He puts on the most high quality production, and when you're at his scale, you kind of have to be that professional, because he's streaming to. There's TV shows out there that would die to have his numbers of people watching them live. He's regardless of any controversies and all the rest of it. The guy is a consummate professional. And like Scarspeed is saying in chat there, DrDisrespect playing DayZ is amazing advertising, worth tens of thousands of dollars no matter what happens. Yeah, but at the same time, like the part of the fear I have, and it comes back to what you said, Roadie, about when you've got someone of his size coming in and playing the game knowing absolutely nothing about it, there's going to be a lot of people who there's two camps of people that worry me. It's the ones who hate DayZ, who know DayZ and just hate it because Dean went off and climbed a mountain and they still haven't gotten over that. And then the ones who have heard about it, but or haven't even heard about it, and look at it and just go, what's the point of this game? And you touched on it, Roadie, with just how hard DayZ is to get into when you don't know nothing about it. And seeing someone like him, and his whole persona is, kind of angry gamer sort of thing. And if he unleashes on it, that advertising might not be the greatest quality. That said, it'll probably get some people to try it, but it's... Marks, you need to get in contact with him, mate, because he can't play with Smoke, because Smoke's or the Running Man, because they play on Twitch. So we need someone from the YouTube DayZ community to go in there and teach this guy how to play, because he can't even play with Summit or Shroud or any of them because they're all on Twitch. And he's persona non grata to Twitch. So someone needs to grab this guy and he shouldn't have climbed that mountain, to be honest. I don't know what mount did he I know when I was watching at one point there, he was on the coast and he just started running inland and he hadn't even found any food, and I was like, that's not going to end well. He's going to die of starvation, and that's going to be a frustrating death when you don't understand the game, which kind of ties me into, have you guys been watching Viva La Dirt League?
Yes.
Have you, Roadie?
No, absolutely.
No, what is it?
Okay, so I'm going to do something I don't normally like doing, but I'm going to justify this one by the fact that I'm only showing one episode, and it will get people to go back and watch more of their episodes. I hate doing the content, and they might strike us. Well, I don't really care because I'm doing it for good reasons. So Viva La Dirt League. These guys became massive back in the PUBG days. I'm not subscribed on this channel, but I am on my own.
I just realized something. We're inside a web series.
They do live action. They're based in New Zealand, which is another reason why I love them, because they're also basically Australian. All Kiwis are Australian. They just don't want to admit it. It's like Canada's relationship with America. The Canadians, you're all Americans. You just live in a different border, and you have some people who speak
You like
French.
to live deep.
Okay, so they've just branched into. They're very good at following what is the meta in gaming, and survival games are huge again at the moment. Everyone says the genre is dead and dying. It's not. It's going nowhere. It's a well established genre now, and they just started a series that they're calling Survival Logic. And it's poking fun at survival games. That's kind of what they do. They poke fun at gaming. They poke fun at a lot of stuff. Boomer Dad. They've got a great video there saying "I love you" to your Boomer Dad. It's fucking hilarious. They're brilliant. But this one smacked so much of Scum and DayZ. So I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, so how many sticks do you have on you?
10.
I found some iron earlier. And are we going in the right direction?
I don't think we're supposed to go in any direction, Adam.
Ow.
What is it? What is it?
I don't know, I just randomly started taking damage.
Oh. Have you checked your hunger meter?
My what? What do I do?
Oh, you're hungry. Eat this.
Okay.
So let's go.
Ow. What now?
Oh, the salt and the jerky's probably made you thirsty. You're dehydrated. You need to drink something.
Okay, Oh, God.
Ah, shit. Brett,
Yeah?
can you come here, please?
What's up?
You understand about the meters, eh?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Can you help Alan? It's pissed me off.
Okay, let's see what we've got. Oh, okay, so your intestinal fortitude meter's at 2%, which is not good, because it's taking your sanity meter down, and that's taking your stamina meter down with it. Oh, your temperature meter is too high, probably because your infection resistance meter is too low. And you've got a severe vitamin B deficiency. And you were sick, so you're hungry and you're thirsty again.
Oh, wow, that's like a lot of meters to keep track of.
No one said staying alive was easy.
Well, no, actually staying alive is a lot easier than this. How is this fun?
You'll be fine. Here. Chew on this.
What is it?
Ginger. It'll settle your stomach. Look, I'm gonna level with you, Alan. You're not gonna make it without some major lifestyle changes. I think we need to get you on a basic meal plan. We need to get your macros under control. So your fats, your carbs, your proteins. You need to be topping these up at least every few minutes. The same goes with your water. You need to boil it though, but don't drink it if it's too hot, because then you'll scald yourself and you'll need antiseptics. If you can cure your wounds and get your nutrition under control, your sanity meter will rise and your stamina meter will follow suit. But you need to be keeping an eye on all of this, all of the time. Keep an eye on it. Are you getting all of this?
Maybe?
Is this a game to you, Alan?
I mean, yeah.
This is your life we're talking about.
I mean, yeah, I know it's my life, but I wanted to...
Do you want to survive?
Yeah,
It doesn't feel like it.
I do.
I need to hear you say it.
No, I do. I want to survive.
You can do better than that.
I want to survive.
Say it again.
I want to survive.
Louder.
I want to survive.
Come on.
I want to survive.
Like you mean it.
I want to survive.
Louder.
I
God. Oh, it's so much better.
Welcome to the new you.
Yeah. You know what? I think I can do this.
Of course you can.
Of course I can. Yeah, you know, I'm not just going to survive. I am going to thrive. Watch out, Will. There's a new job. Jesus.
Oh yeah, watch out for zombies. There's zombies in this game. Hey guys, if you want to see more survival logic videos, they're over there.
And you should subscribe down there.
Subscribe down there.
Somewhere around there.
Because we're going to have so many more survival logic.
And other videos. Yeah,
Go that way, a little bit.
over there. Yeah.
You're really chewing on that apple, aren't you? You're chewing it.
Okay, so I hope that has inspired some of you to go and subscribe to their channel. I'm going to share it in the chats now, but how brilliant is that video? And these guys, they're actually my well, I know we do spotlights later in the show, but they're actually my shout out for this week, Falcon, because they've absolutely, they're killing it. What they've managed to achieve with their show is brilliant, and they're branching out. You know, they started off becoming famous with PUBG videos, and now they're you know, doing all of these other. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. There's so many games that I've shared it in both the channels. Please go and subscribe to them. They all stream individually as well on Twitch and things like that. They're just an amazing channel. Had you seen that before, Roadie?
I think I saw it in terms of Battlefield or Call of Duty or whatever. So
yeah, they do a lot
I
of that.
recognized. Yeah, it's a big show. It's so great, and you find yourself whatever game you play in their videos and in the characters. It's so good.
And someone banned
They had
Skullspeeder.
Oh boy, they had a theme that they did that was called Epic NPC Man. That was all about
That they still do.
They still do? Okay.
Yeah, they still do videos in that.
So they had an offshoot of that, which was Balin's Route.
Yep.
Or Balin's Route. That I swear I've watched that 20 times. That has got to be some of the best content out there. So it's about a 30-minute piece. It's a story of a non-player character I'll call Balin, who's the fisherman. So all he does is walk around with his fishing pole and say, "Morning, nice day for fishing, huh?" And he ends up getting in an adventure where he starts to break out of his NPC character role. Even though he can only say those lines, he ends up rescuing someone and going on a big adventure and fighting and everything else, even though he's this very simple NPC. And it was
if you love gaming, you're going to love their channel, aren't you, Falcon? Yeah. They cover every genre.
Absolutely. So I was amazed. They did that piece. I think it was $700,000 budget. It had a look and feel that was on par with Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, they had the fantastic views. They did some great drone shots.
Yep.
Out in the open. So they're doing great work. I haven't seen any of their stuff that I saw flaws in.
And I've wanted to shout them out for some time on the show, but there's never really been a tie-in. But now that they're actually doing the Survival Logic series, it ties in with DayZ. And like Skullspeeder, he's into PUBG and a lot of other games. He's going to find, if he's never seen them before, so many things from them. I've been following them since back in the PUBG days, which is when their channel really blew up. And they even got invited to tournaments where the likes of Shroud and that were playing as guest players and guest hosts and things like that. And they were famous. Their PUBG ones were brilliant because they'd have all these big level people's names in the kill feed of their fake videos they were making and things like that. It was, it was kind of a bit of a badge of honor to get your name included in a Viva La Dirt League PUBG kill feed video. People were always, hey, that's my name and things like that. It was brilliant. But yeah, definitely give them a sub, folks. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description of the video as well. You'll love it. They're brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Top quality stuff. But yeah, it's great to see this genre getting some love. The fact that someone like DrDisrespect, after how many years has that guy been doing this for? And he's now given DayZ a try. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there we go. Yep. I thought we died out then. But yeah. Now, Mark shared something on Twitter that I wanted to get into with the good old shotgun. Let me see if I can find
You mean that it seems kind of nerfy?
when you are shooting someone who's wearing a plate carrier. Now, he was saying, let me just find his tweet. Easier if I just click on the link that I've got in the Discord. Weedy. Boomer. Where is it? There we go. So DayZ really need to buff shotguns. They are arse against someone with a plate carrier. And someone said, to be fair, buckshot probably won't go through the plates, because that's the first thing I thought was, a shotgun at fairly close range, even IRL, if someone's wearing a plate carrier and it hits them, it's not going to be that bad. But Mark then replied, I know, but even slugs do nothing. Now, if you've got a basic understanding of how shotguns work, especially slugs, you hit someone, even if they're wearing a plate carrier, with a 12 gauge slug, it's not going to be good for them. It's really going to knock them on their ass.
I think the question of penetration through the plate carrier, I think, is an open one, because I'm not sure the muzzle velocity of the slug.
It's not going to get through a plate carrier, provided the plate carrier is in good condition. But it's going to destroy that plate carrier. Like, it's going to probably shatter the plate. But it's not going to penetrate, but it's going to hurt. Yeah. It's going to hurt whoever's wearing it. And it's most likely going to knock them flat on their ass, provided it's at a close enough range. If you're talking about 100 plus meters, to hit with a slug at that range, you're doing pretty good. But if you're talking, and let's face it, you watch most DayZ servers that have the kill feed, Roadie, and most of the kills are happening within 25 to 50 meters, aren't they, Roadie?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, but I think it's, I had in mind it might be connected to the fact that you knock out the player first, and if you're close range, you swap the weapon or take the same weapon and you finish them off, and that's why it appears on the kill feed as close range most of the time. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't have any proof for that one, but from my gameplay style and what I see in different streams and videos and such, that could be an explanation for that one. Yeah. But when it comes to shotguns, in the early stage of a run, I grab it. Of course, it's great to clear a building, but I always tend to have the buckshots instead of a slug shot. And slug shot, from my understanding, is a little bit more for the mid range. But I can't hit anything with that one, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I drop the shotguns as soon as I get any automatic assault rifle or something.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
And I tend to go for the hunting rifles, either a Mosin or Tundra is my go-to.
Yeah, I think every player got his favorites when it comes to guns. My mid-range and distance weapon is the Mosin, and I love to hit any shots with iron sights. That's the most satisfying feeling to hit those shots. That's great.
For sure.
Yeah, and everybody can remember those situations, and that's what comes to my mind playing DayZ and having a certain way of development in the game. It's the interaction, and it's all about making memories.
Yes.
You have games where you just play and maybe waste your time, but every single round on every single server, it's always the same scheme or the same pattern of play style. But that's the beauty of DayZ. Every run is different, and it's all about making memories. If you have an adventure with any random team ups, if you have a scheduled team up, if you're running solo, it's all about that.
Yep, completely agree.
But back to the thing with the shotgun though, like the main thing I keep on seeing from people talking, and even in chat there, is they're super inconsistent. Maybe Wobo will do something on it to try to explain. We can only pray because he'll probably do the best video to explain what's going on that, because we all know how janky some of the mechanics are in DayZ. But when Marx is saying he shot someone at less than a meter and it appeared to do nothing to that person. Again, you don't know. That guy may have been a bit of lag or desync, and that guy may have gone down. I don't know whether Marx died immediately. Like Amish said, had a video there where he showed he got one tapped. Let me just quickly.
And I kind of chuckle, kind of on a larger scale. This is just part of the cycle of DayZ, which is
I'm dead.
It's an endless situation of.
Yeah, he one shot.
They really need to buff this weapon. This is just a total nothing burger. And then after the next release, it's some other weapon. Wow, they really need to nerf this one. This is way OP.
Yep.
And it just continues.
Yeah, and that's part of you end up down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But I can understand the frustration of shooting someone at point blank with a shotgun, with a slug, and just seeing them keep on running and then take you out. It'd be quite frustrating from the player perspective, let alone a content creator perspective. What else did we have in the agenda? We bring it up.
Let's see.
No,
do we have a question of the week this week?
No, I didn't do a question of the week this week. But
Okay.
I did want to touch on something in your sector a bit.
Uh-oh.
Bringing it up.
Stay in your lane.
Cabello Live,
Yes.
the creator of Banov. Thank you for an amazing 3 years. It's time to move on. As you may have noticed, we have started working on a new Montana map for Arma 4. But don't worry, Banov will deliver the fixed actualization. Here's a little video to thank you all. I'm not going to play it. Please go check him out yourself. I'll share his Twitter thread in chats. But it's sad, but, do you blame him, Falcon?
No, not at all. And in fact, after the last big update to Banov, I had a suspicion that that's where this was going to go, because it really felt like, here's a bunch of things that are getting added that are really helping to complete the story of Banov. And so it felt like a natural kind of ending place for, it sounds like there's going to be continued support, but no new features, no new map additions. So. And that's a fantastic map. I think he's done a great job on it.
I'm looking forward to my favorite server. I plug them, and no, I do not make any money from them, but I plug them every episode. DayZ Down Under. They're currently doing Deer Isle, which I'm absolutely in love with, and I can't wait for them to go back to Banov, because it's been a while since I sunk my teeth into Banov, and I know a lot has changed. What's your favorite map, Roadie?
Oh, it depends. So generally, Generous is, of course, the original map. But Livonia brought me back to DayZ when I had a little time off.
Mm-hmm.
So I still love this map, but I don't play it that much anymore. It's more about the memories I made,
Yeah.
As a lone wolf, crawling through the south, avoiding any players. It's been the early days of my DayZ career, very small and in brackets. But nowadays, I love to explore new maps. It was great when Dear Isle was launched. It was really nice to have some cool adventures, to get out of the spawn areas and to figure out all the secrets. Same with Iztec, with the underground areas, well made. Big shout out to Sarge. So he made a really, really nice map. And regarding the size, it depends on the mood. If you want to go to explore, you have some maps. If you want to go to PvP, you have some maps. And it depends on the server as well. So for me, after Chernarus and Livonia, I fell in love with Namalsk from day one. Namalsk was such a great map to explore with the lore in the background, figuring out how comes everything together. And I'm not a armor player, so I don't have the historical background about let's say the history of Namalsk before. It was coming up for me all from scratch, and had some really, really great adventures on that one. And of course, with all the updates coming along the road, the final stage of I made it to Lantia. Yeah, okay, I get stuck, no way back until somebody pushed the button. But it's a really great feeling to be there. So Namalsk, great things to offer, and if you're a little bit more into survival and crafting, for me Namalsk was really great with the cold dynamics, with the mechanics of frozen food and that stuff. So brought a wider range of play styles to me. But I can't name all those maps. I think it's good with some, let's say, visual mods as well. Right now, a lot of maps turn into jungles. If it's matching or not. Yeah, right. So this is the thing. I love to have some variation, to see new things, but you don't have to adopt every single new thing which comes up. So same with Spring Namalsk. I love the idea. I love to figure it out. And it brings a lot of attention and attraction, and content creators jump on that topic. But we'll see how long it will last, this little trend. Yeah. So no really favorite map for me. So many good maps out there, but I love it when they are a pleasure for our eyes as well.
Yes,
Right,
you know,
for sure.
that's part of
immersion
yeah. I touched on something, and DayZ was in chat, and that's one of the things I've loved about the custom maps that are being made, is they're really showing what's capable, what's possible, even with the antiquated tools that people have to make maps for DayZ. You know, some of these other maps, like some of the custom locations in Dear Isle that I'm finding, are just blowing my mind with how immersive it is. I'm genuinely loving just, I've got a vehicle. We've got Red Falcon's boats mod on the server, but I'm just enjoying running around everywhere, swimming between the islands and finding all these different locations that I haven't known about, and working out the lore. Yeah, it's just... console needs something, though. They really do. We're blessed on PC. Console really needs something. And there's some great work being done by the likes of Lemons and so on, but they're very limited in what they can do. They need, you know. That said, that brings me on to something. Shit. But I saw it and I forgot to add it. But someone, and I hope someone in chat knows what I'm talking about here. But someone who I follow on Twitter found a Namalsk Easter egg in the Armor 4 engine map, or something. They said that the Namalsk was in a image in the background, which, who knows, maybe Namalsk is going to come to Armor 4.
I think it's a teaser. That's what I think.
But to be an official,
Sure. Slight little homage, perhaps.
that's risky though. They generally don't do stuff like that in the game or non-official stuff. Can anyone? Does anyone know the tweet I'm talking about? I should have fucking captured it at the time, and I'm annoyed at myself that I didn't. But yeah, I saw it, and yeah, sure enough, in the background was an image of the Namolsk Island. And it was like,
Maybe.
things that
Maybe
make
it will
you
be
go,
coming to. Yeah.
Yeah, like why are they redoing the Northwest Airfield? Why did they choose that? Is there a reason? Is there something coming to DayZ that they need to modify the Northwest Airfield?
Don't know. You know, they love to tease these things out.
They do, and generally, you know, it's a bit of that old roadie that think about with movies. You know, if they're going to include something in there, they're generally including it for a reason. You know, this isn't like a Dance of Jesus shit in a bucket on Livonia sort of Easter egg that's just there for funny. When it's something, you know, the size of the Northwest Airfield being reworked, there's got to be a reason why they're choosing to do that when there's so many other locations that could be done, or you know, and you know, then for Armour 4 to include Namolsk, which is an unofficial mod, yes, it's made by the head of the DayZ dev team, but they've never really done anything like that I'm aware of.
Yeah, 100%. So that came on my mind talking about this topic. I'm not too much into Armour 4 and what's going on in the background and all those Easter eggs. I love the Easter eggs. I love to find them in the game and to see some puzzles. And sometimes I got the feeling that the developers and the software companies and the gaming companies and publishers play a little bit with the community in a positive way. Gives them some ideas what could be and to start some rumors. And as you said, Falcon, to tease it. Yeah, to get some attention to it. And I love it how it works. It's really great. And why not having Namolsk in an official Bohemia Interactive game? Because, as you said, Boydie, 100% correct, the maker of Namolsk, Samrek, is meanwhile on the payroll of Bohemia Interactive. So who knows what's in the background? And I like the idea of having proven successful maps as a basic for a new game or a further developed game. You don't have to start at scratch. If you have something in your pocket and you have access to it, why not bring it further and transform it to the new platform?
Right. That also helps bridge players over because there's stuff there that they're familiar with. So there can be some familiarity and then some new parts, and that helps them transition.
Yeah, 100%.
Than, oh, it's a new game.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a new game I have to learn. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it, but I cannot find this tweet. And I'm really frustrated that I didn't save it at the time.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah, it literally is an okay boomer moment. But yeah, and it was a screenshot that showed a map like in the background as just a inactive part of the furniture, and it showed Namolsk. It was like, wow! Could you imagine how good that would look? But yeah, I'm blown away by it. Okay, so let's move on to the modding spotlight. Malcolm, what do you got for us?
Okay, I was going to split this up a little bit. So first, I wanted to continue the conversation that we had last week and in previous shows, talking about what we talked about earlier, the jungle mod, JD's jungle for Chernarus. And it's a fantastic looking mod. And it's one of those things, since we had the whole Eden debacle with the Eden map, there was a lot of interest in a jungle type map. Unfortunately, that went away, but this mod has come out and it looks really good. And then also I had mentioned that I had just discovered the Vela map that had been out for a while that they're still calling work in progress, but in my opinion, it's really close to done. It's got a lot of great stuff for a small island map. Well, I just spun up that map and added the jungle mod to it, and it went in seamlessly. It looks absolutely fantastic. So it was great to see that one of these kind of environmental mods that was really intended for Cherno really dovetails nicely in with some of these other island maps to give you that tropical island feel. All I had to do was go mess with the temperatures a little bit, and now I've got a great little tropical island map. So it's exciting things like that that are really helping to boost the immersion of the gameplay. So it's not just more guns, more clothes, things like that, but it's the thing that really draws you further into the game and feeling like you're actually playing it there that I find particularly exciting. Rhodey, did you want to expand on that? I know you had some thoughts on the jungle mod.
Yeah, yeah. I 100% agree with what you said, Falcon. So from my experience, I had some runs on different maps with the jungle map, on different servers, differently modded. But focusing on what comes with the mod itself, it's a great opportunity to have a totally different feeling to existing maps. So, for example, I think the most common map is still Chernaros. If you think about, does this make sense having a jungle feeling? It does. Definitely it does, because you don't see repeating patterns from the different kinds of trees. Right. It's seamless, yeah. You have the jungle sounds when you enter the forest. That's great. And the play style will be totally different. You know, if you saw all those winter maps and comparing it on Chernaros, a lot of foliage went away. You are much more visible. It's more sniper style gameplay. And now we have the opposite with coming with the jungle mod. Yeah, so you can hide perfectly in those foliage in the trees. It's much more close combat. I expect a lot of surprise moments. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's really awesome. And even having a vehicle, like in this case we had modded Mustangs or Harley-like motorbikes, and driving with those stuff through a jungle, it's a totally different feeling. It's a lot of fun, makes sometimes sense, but at the end of the day, it's all about having fun, explore new stuff, and making memories. It's really good. So I love the idea to give the server admins some additional tools and opportunities to create unique feelings. And the jungle mod is great for that.
Yeah.
The Falcon.
Okay, so it looks like Boydie found it. Yeah.
It wasn't on Twitter. It was in our Discord. And it was Akake found it. So I just noticed there is a topographic map of Namols in Armor Reforger as a background image for the menus. What does that mean?
Maybe something, maybe nothing. I mean, could that be a map, an actual map, IRL of the area that Namalsk is based on? And they threw that in there as a teaser to nothing. This is all part of the joy of Easter eggs. Is, does it mean something? Does it mean everything? Does it mean nothing? Who's to say? Let's start a conspiracy.
I mean, look, it's April Fool's is coming up. They might be punking us with something to do with that. Who knows what they're going to do?
That's true.
But
Who knows?
So no, I love the idea of you were talking before about the mixing up of Chernaris with a jungle. I still remember when Winter Chernaris first come out. I got lost, and Chernaris I probably know better than my own fucking suburb I live in. But to change the landscape to snow and the trees all look different, and I didn't take a compass and I didn't have my map, and the next thing I knew, I'd gone in a full 360 and in the back, and I'm like, what the fuck? How did that happen? I know this map, but I didn't know it. So I haven't tried the jungle one yet, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It's definitely good. And then the next part I wanted to talk about modding was we'll title Red Falcon rants. So I had a few things that I've run into that were just like, hey kids, get off my lawn category. So
I've made you full screen
let's
for this.
see. Okay, awesome. I have the stage. So the first thing was around mods that aren't the paid mods, and I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of paid mods, free mods, good, bad, or ugly. Everybody's got an opinion on that, and they all aren't right in my opinion. So, but some people, if you're not doing paid mods, but you're putting a free mod out on the Steam Workshop, please do not obfuscate it. And for those that aren't familiar with modding or whatever, that's a process by which they can make the PBO or the core code of the mod inaccessible to other people, where it's essentially locking it. Now, that being said, there are some ways to unlock it. But when you do that, especially if you're doing any kind of mod that's influencing how the game operates, you're making it impossible for other modders to debug where there may be mod conflicts. And this is something I've been doing a lot with my mods lately.
We had on my favorite server, DayZ Down Under, they added Admiral's diving mod, and then they had to remove it because it clashed with yours. Is that that problem?
It is. Now that one that's actually one. It's funny you brought it up. That's one I'm actively working on. I'm almost to the root cause. Because I actually have a dive boat that I want to put in and have the mods work together. But that's one where Admiral did not obfuscate his stuff. He did not hide it. And so I was able to go in and look at his code, put a bunch of debug in my code, and then work step by step to figure out where the conflict is.
Yep.
And that was with bigger mods, you have to do that. You have to deal. People say, hey, it doesn't work on my server. So I like to help out. So I usually go in and try to figure out where the conflict is. But I think
Dyson will be pretty happy to hear that, because Dyson's usually in here listening and watching. So that's a good reason why they shouldn't obfuscate. So you could go in, because those two mods go hand in hand, a dive mod and your boats mod.
Absolutely. So so that's one piece. And then
look, not throwing shade. Not throwing shade. What's a big mod that's obfuscated that has caused issues in the past?
Well, there's, I don't know that there's been any big mods that have. It's been these smaller ones, like anything that's a car fix, where they're trying to do things with cars and they're actively overwriting DayZ code. Any custom vehicles, especially like mine, where I'm doing a bunch of, really custom things, or expansion vehicles where they're doing a bunch of custom things, the mods are going to conflict. And I've seen some of these type of fixes, or where they're modifying the basic functionality of how DayZ works, be obfuscated. And then there's no way I can go and see what they're screwing around with to either make a compatibility mod or modify my mod to kind of deal with what they're doing. So that's kind of one piece, was please don't obfuscate. And I know people are trying to be protective of their scripts or whatever. It's all coming from DayZ anyway. So just, let's all play nice together in the pool. And then let's see. The one other thing, this is kind of more on the player or the beginning server admin side. So it seems like lately there's been a kind of a surge of new server owners or new server admins. And that seems to kind of ebb and flow with time. But people come in, they've been playing, they're like, hey, I want to spin up my own server. They go out to their, whatever their go-to hosting server, Nitrado or GTX or one of the many other hosting services, and spend, 25 quid and get a server going. But they don't do a lot of research up front of how to run a DayZ server. And so it's like, how do you set up the trader, or how do I hear types is important. Things are despawning. And for some reason, there's been a lot of those new admins showing up because they want to put in like helicopters or boats, and showing up on my Discord with basic adminning questions. Hey, I put your helis on my server, but they don't spawn anywhere. How do I do that? And so for those people in that situation, if anybody's watching now or in the future, there are some great resources out there. Our good friend Scale Speeder has done just a whole encyclopedia of tutorial videos and including backup content on GitHub with example files and stuff. But please go take a look at his content or any others that you find. Just trying to understand the basics of how to run your server. It will make your experience as a DayZ server admin much more fulfilling if you don't get stuck in, I've spent 3 days trying to figure out why everything's despawning. Oh, it turns out your XML has a problem and it's DayZ isn't recognizing any of your settings. So there's a lot of those basic tips that if you learn those up front, it's going to make your experience much, much better.
I really can't add anything to that because I know nothing about it. Have you got anything on that, Brody?
No, the only thing what I recognized was diving boats.
Yeah.
No, I don't know nothing about coding and that stuff. I just lift my head, if this makes sense, because I just I can't even imagine how much effort goes into that and how many years you need to be busy with learning that stuff, etc. So I'm just surprised what you can do with an existing game, and you think it's done and already, and you saw everything. And the modding community behind DayZ, from player perspective, it's amazing. It's awesome. Constantly bringing lots and lots of stuff into the game, and it's just very nice. And having diving boats. I'm awake. I'm awake.
So I actually have one that I've started building out, and the idea is that it works together or in concert with the diving mod, so that there's slots to store your tanks, that you can hook up the compressor to refill your air tanks. You can put up a flag that's indicating that there's a diver in the water. So
perfect.
Yeah,
so we need a call out to the mappers, to the map makers, adding more underwater scenery, right?
That's what started driving it. Was as soon as I got the boats in, and then we ran into the issue with the diving mod, I started looking into that. I had a number of server admins and some map makers saying, hey, if this is going to be a thing, I want to build an underground city, or put a wreck that you can dive on that spawns loot in it, or things of that nature. So I think that's going to open up a whole new world.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Once you can drive the boat out, hop out, put on your gear, hop out of the boat, swim down, dive the wreck. There's all kinds of possibilities.
Great. Sounds like an additional dimension to me in the game.
Absolutely. Okay, so that was what I had that I wanted to cover this week in the mod section.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think let me just go back to the agenda, but I think we are pretty much done now. We didn't have Archie with a server spotlight, and with no Cobra, we don't have a content creator spotlight. Individual spotlights. Let's do our own shout outs. Now, I've already pretty much done mine. Viva La Dirt League, the survival logic. I freaking love it. Please go watch it if you haven't. Sub to their channel. If you like finding a channel that you could just go back and have some good memories, like I still go back and watch their PUBG stuff every now and then. It's hilarious. I think their take on third person gaming was brilliantly done as well. Even their one that's more about the your hack and slash sort of games, with the female armor, what it's like as a female player in those sorts of games is brilliant. Has that blonde chick from the last video in it as well. But they're just a great channel that I can't get enough of. I love their content, and they're pretty much a full-time company. They've got their own studio that they're making videos in. They get out in the wild, and like Red Falcon was saying with their massive 40-minute video, that one is Epic NPC Man one. But yeah, Brady, what about yourself, mate? What's something you would like to shout out?
Yeah. So talking about content creator, you already mentioned Cam Can't Run. Excellent guy. Really, really nice. And he brought up a brand new format of a DayZ event. It's called Pripyat is Burning. They did chapter 1. There's more to come. It's very much focused on, from my point of view, it's role play with a very nice story. Put a lot of work into this project, and I just love it. And for me, it's always interesting to see the live streams from the shoutcasters, from different content creators, streamers, etc. But not everybody got the chance to be live in streaming or watching the event. So what I very much like is something like a video on YouTube where different players, for example, display their experience in those events. And when it comes to Pripyat is Burning, I saw a brilliant video from Holly Rex. We all know her. And this
awesome.
was, for me, a perfect trailer video as well for the upcoming chapter 2 of Pripyat is Burning. Because if you read it, if you read the rules or a little bit of a story behind it, for me, sometimes it's pretty hard to get a picture of what is it about. And those videos are great to get an idea about the events. And most of the time, Pripyat is Burning is a perfect example of it's just the beginning of the storyline. Go watch Holly Rex and her YouTube video. I can, if I'm allowed, I could post the link here in the description, in the chat. So this is one shout out for me today. And I think about how can we improve the topic of videos, media, etc. in the DayZ Event Calendar Discord. Maybe just a media channel where everybody can post his point of view from the event, from the shoutcasters or whatever. This could be interesting, but as I said, I don't want to have too much distraction in the Discord, but this could be worth and see how it develops. Yeah. So this regarding content creator. I don't want to cover other guys' job regarding servers or whatever, but I mentioned already the hard home servers. For me, it's as a player, it's a great opportunity to find new stuff, new mods, bringing together new experience. The hard home servers are PvP servers, but with all the additional creatures and challenges, there's a certain focus on PvE as well. And I like that kind of style. And OGT does a great job setting up those servers. He's an Aussie as well. So that's another plus. And I like what he's doing, and he runs a lot of events as well as a server admin. I think the Bare Knuckle event tomorrow on Saturday will be on his hard home event servers as well. I remember one situation where I talked to him and said, you got some really tough creatures on your servers. He said, they need to be tough. It's hard home. Otherwise, it would be soft home. That doesn't match. So that's really great. And you don't see any queues. This is one topic I really hate as a player, having populated servers, and I don't want to wait half an hour or whatever to get playing. So it's, from my point of view, I love to see populated servers, of course, but with a queue of 20 or 30 or 40 people or whatever, no, not my style. And that's great, hard home, some population, but no queue. So that's my shout out regarding content creators and service.
And what about you, Falcon?
So I had something that is completely not DayZ or even gaming related, but it's something that I saw on YouTube and thought was fascinating. So it's something called Fold Scope. and I'll put the link to it. This is actually a paper microscope. So you can acquire them for, I think it's less than $1. And it's a little origami type thin cardboard scope that has a little glass bead as it's magnifying, and you use your smartphone as a light source. And you can actually see pretty detailed stuff. So it's great for education and getting kids into science, especially in areas that may not be what we'll call first world countries. So areas that, they can't afford to have a $5,000 or $10,000 microscope in the school that kids can look at. You can get these things and kids can go out into the wild and look at things up close and personal. And it was originally started as an attempt to get a better way to diagnose malaria in, I think, mainly in the Africa area, because these microscopes that they would use were super expensive. They were took power. They had
I cut my finger making lunch.
And so the engineer that built this came up with this idea of how to create this instrument that was very cheap and very durable. And then in a combination with it, because when you're diagnosing malaria, you needed a centrifuge to be able to separate the blood sample. And centrifuges are, again, multi-$1,000 delicate instruments. So he developed this circular paper card and a little tube that you'd get the blood sample in. You'd tape it in and then have strings on either side, and you could spin the card and then pull it in and out to get the revolutions to create the centrifugal force to separate the blood sample. And, this was, again, it was like $1.50 or $2 total for both of these things. Now this was a couple of years ago. I've since looked, and there had been some initial studies, and there was not enough light or magnification to get a high success rate on diagnosing malaria. But again, I think it's a good first step, and as a teaching tool, I think it's absolutely fantastic to get kids, no matter what their environment, interested in science. I think that is really important.
Damn straight. One of the channels that I love that are all on that lines is Mark Rober.
Yes.
And his latest video talking about the zipline technology just blew my mind. I shared that in a military group I'm part of, where a lot of blokes who were veterans of the horrible things that happened in Rwanda. And I said, for a lot of us, we maintain a sentimental attachment. I know myself, if there's a story about Somalia, I read it. I haven't been there since 1993, but I'm still attached to that country. And to see a positive story coming out of there of this amazing technology using drones to get blood to people in need, what would take a 4-hour road trip is being done in 15 minutes with a drone. Brilliant. So all of that tech stuff, I love it. And everyone wants to be influencers and content creators these days. We still need our scientists, and we still need our engineers and everything like that, more so than ever. Some might argue, but no, that's a good shout out. Bit different, but it's good seeing little things like that. It's amazing the things that science can do.
That's true. That's true.
One last shout out. Bubson might be doing another release of the Namalsk album. A lot of people, I still haven't received the one that I've got to give away for the Christmas show yet, but that's because I live in Australia, and it's probably coming via Antarctica and the Sahara Desert and everywhere to get to me. But I'm seeing a lot of people have received theirs. So yeah, where's Archie? Archie's having major PC issues at the moment, coolers and bloody all sorts of stuff, and hopefully he'll have that fixed ASAP and be back on the show. And Cobra got a bit confused, being an old guy. Us old people do get confused from time to time. So that's why he wasn't here this week as well. But Roadie, keep doing what you're doing, mate. We need more people like you doing this sort of stuff that just helps promote stuff in the community. Like I can see Poetry Slam's doing an interview right now with Dobby's Gaming Sock. I love that she's doing that. I love the boys from Friendly who just released their episode where they had Lad and Cobra on as guests. And they will also be guests with us next week. So there you go. That's next week's guest is announced. The boys from Friendlies are going to be on the DayZ podcast. Should be a great episode. I reckon it's going to be a cracker of an episode.
I can't wait to see them on your show. That will be a lot of fun. Great.
Will they webcam or won't they webcam? That is the question.
That is the question.
We might have to do a poll and tag them in it. Should the boys from Friendlies do webcam for the podcast next week? But yeah, see what the people want. But no, thank you all so much, everyone. Once again, the final announcement I have to make is as of next week's show. Next week's show was planned to be in 24 hours from now. As in it would have been. I didn't explain that correctly. Falcon, you're the smart guy here. Can you tell them what's happening as of next week?
We're shifting the show by 1 day. So for those that are currently watching the show on a Friday afternoon, you'd be watching it on a Saturday afternoon.
Yep. And part of the reason for that is one, like normally I have to run almost immediately after the show finishes to take my young fella to work. And two, right now, what's the time in America?
I'm on the West Coast, and it's just after 2 p.m.
So most people are still at work. A lot of people do work Monday to Friday, 9 till 5. So we're missing a large amount of people who can't watch it. So we're going to move it forward 24 hours. So it's going to be the weekend for everyone. Yes, I know there are a lot of people who still work on weekends, but hopefully that's going to enable more people to be able to tune in each week. And it will also give me a bit more time to, hang around after the show because it's very hard for all of us in the admin team and that behind the show to get together at the time that we're doing the show and even during the week. But if it's a time when we could all hang around for half an hour or so afterwards, it's going to be great for us admin wise. We could talk about how many times I upset everyone and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll be able to do that as a team. So going as of next weekend, the show will be 24 hours forward. So for me, that's going to be Sunday mornings. For the rest of you, it's going to be Saturday, same time as you started watching today, but just on Saturdays now. But yeah, the Friendly Boys are brilliant. They are a lot of fun. Yeah. We've got to see about getting Hey You video game on as well. I'm really impressed with those guys. They're just blowing up massive. What are they, 200,000 subscribers on YouTube now? That's insane, their growth. Yeah.
That is insane.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you all so much. Ladies and gentlemen, the Twitch crew, I'm going to send you over to Poetry Slam right now. Just give us some love. Let her know where you've come from. Let her know where you've been. And watch her doing a great interview with Dobby's Gaming Sock. All the best, Twitch, and we will see you next week at the new time. Not the same time, the new time, but the same channel. All the best, and ciao for now, Twitch crew. And YouTube, I've got you set for a auto thingy, an auto raid of, you got to go check out Facility BJJ is who I set you guys up with, so hopefully he is still streaming. But yeah, all the best, everyone, and we will see you next week. Ciao for now. Say bye-bye.
Cheers, everybody.
Thank you.
Cheers, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
There's nothing to fear if you try. If you keep believing, like rainfall inside.